Debrena Jackson Gandy. My name is Dr. Tracy Harrell, and we are here talking about the Getting Better Together Empowerment Series. Oh my God, it's been so exceptional. I feel a little emotional when I think about the experience we've had. How are you feeling about transforming in
Oh, it's
community?
so rich. It's been so rich, and participants have gotten so much out of it. It's been beautiful.
Yes, yes. People might say, "Why are you doing it like this? What's with this whole getting better together concept?" And you and I've had this conversation before, but I think it's important to remind people that we're communal in nature. You're 500% more likely to complete any task when you do it in community. That's scientific, but it's also cultural. We know that's how we perform better. Anything you want to say about that concept of getting better together? Like, get ready, because we're not just doing it once, we're doing it. This is who we are. This is what we do now moving forward.
Well, we're such one of the ideologies of America is individualism. So the muscle that we have developed is the me approach. And so do it collectively works completely different muscles than most of us have developed. It really rounds you out as a human. So I love that it is being done collectively in community, live real time or virtual live real time, and people having a chance to experience that aspect, which could be new for a lot of us.
I love it. I love it. And you use one of my favorite words, experience. So it's the Getting Better Together Empowerment Series, right? It's getting, ing, a gerund. It's a process. It's a journey. But it's also, that's the what we're doing, right? But how we're doing it, I call it the living powerfully experience. And it involves multiple methodologies and modalities, to use your term. One of them is this idea of positive intelligence, but that's just a small part of it. It's very foundational to say we need an operating system that aligns us. But this is also a mountaintop experience. So when we say living powerfully, right, we're talking about how do we manifest our dreams? How do we take it to the next level? Debrena, people are ready to really get better, unless they're really ready to do the work and to go deep, focusing on beliefs and true transformation. Talk about that, will you?
Well, we are ready, but oftentimes people don't know what's step one, what's step two, what's step three. So we don't know the sequence, and we keep taking forward and sliding backward and getting frustrated or losing our motivation or our passion. So to have some guidance, to have some direction, to say, hold up, let's get the foundation straight. Let's understand how this thing is put together. Even beneath your thoughts, you have something even more positive called beliefs. And we're going to look at those too. And once we look at those, you might understand why you've had certain patterns going on and how to clip the wires on it. And then understanding what gives rise to those thoughts and how thoughts inform our feelings and the whole process and where to begin and how to proceed. A lot of people, those are the missing pieces. But in this, you have laid it out and brought in the experts in these various areas to provide leadership and guidance and insight and instruction and teaching and exercises and engagement so people have a process. So that's one of the things that I think is so exquisite about this.
Ooh, I love your language. It is exquisite. It is very exciting. I feel like a person who is just living out my purpose in full glory. And it's not me. It's a we. Like, my company is called It's All Bigger Than Me. Again, that wasn't my name either. But God made it very clear, right? This is about the science, right? It's about the spiritual side. We got to bring that in. And we also are bringing in the cultural side. That's so exciting to me. So I could not be more excited. I know you only have a little bit of time today. So I wanted to talk about, you talked about our 5 primary drivers, right? Those things that, give people an opportunity to go deeper, to think about their beliefs and their thoughts, their feelings, their actions, and then the results. Because again, looking at the results is really what matters. This is about real people, real talk, real actions, and then real results. Like, this is about outcomes, changing your life, transforming, like that butterfly that transforms when he's a caterpillar. He can't even remember what it was like scooching along on a branch because his wings have spread, and we're creating that freedom, that liberation for our people. So to use the word liberation, when you think about freedom, right? It's work to think deep, to go deep, but there's such liberation. Can you just talk about an amplification on that word, liberation?
Well, going deep isn't difficult unless we haven't been doing it, which most of us haven't. So it's an underdeveloped muscle, but it's not inherently hard or difficult. So, you know, and you know, one of the elements of this journey, which is really unique, because we often talk about healing and use the word and throw the word around in groups. But when I ask, well, tell me the actual healing work you did, then someone may cite a general exercise or activity, but you actually included healing processes in the journey. That's often a huge missing. And so forgiveness work, as I define it, and there might be some other definitions out there, but I define it primarily as personal liberation work. So to free yourself from old emotions that are informing your thoughts and responses, to free yourself from perceptions that are warped and twisted about yourself or someone else or a situation, to reopen your heart, to liberate your heart so it could be in its initial state open as a portal. So this really is about liberation when you boil it all down.
Yes, I love that so much. I also like the fact that, you know, we've been talking about, you know, the levels of awareness, which I now call illumination, right? Because there's so many levels of awareness. You want to illuminate, you want to bring some clarity, some, you know, you want to shine some light on your truths, right? The way you know in your heart what's true for you, but then how you are truly, how people are experiencing you, right? Your greatest strengths can be overused and we don't even look at them. It's like that's somebody else's problem, right? It's like, I don't know. Well, I think you said to me once about communication, and, you know, I was talking about as it relates to a love relationship, and you said, you know, if you're communicating with someone and they're not getting it, and we know this to be true, but we don't necessarily accept it. If you're not communicating, if they're not getting it, you need to repackage it, resend it, and think about your communication style. So let's talk about that concept of ownership and true accountability. We said awareness, action, and accountability. Something, you know, we can support each other in that, but it really has to come from within for it to truly be about a transformation. So talk about that accountability and that true activation.
Well, you know, I was watching a very short TikTok reel probably about 3 months ago, and the person was looking at the camera saying, if you have to tell someone something over and over and over again, it's not about them not understanding you, it's about them disrespecting you. And I cringed, because the measure of your communication mastery as a sender is, does it get received accurately and as you intended, and is it understood on the part of the receiver? So now for someone to say in that leading TikTok reel that, hey, it's just them disrespecting you, meaning that you have no responsibility for you, the person in the communication with you, understanding successfully what you are communicating. If they don't, hey, they're just trying to mess with your mind. I mean, I was like, oh my goodness. But there are a lot of twisted teachings out there like that, right? So just being able to own your part in it, not more than your part, own your part in it, in a culture that avoids truth, runs from the mirror, and runs from illumination, we can understand why we might have a hard time owning things. So part of the transformational process is that you come in operating in truth. You come in owning your part, because you're also saying, I am recognizing my personal power.
I love that. I love that so much. Debrena, I know you have a hard stop at 2:00. So can I ask you one last question? I'll make it a really short and quick one.
One last, yeah.
This concept of culture, right? We're doing this work, not just empowerment, because again, that's important too. And you know, I've been about that, right? Transformation. But the concept of bringing in culture, creating a space where it's really stitching all those things together, where we're doing the work together. That's the better together. We're focused on the science. We're focused on the spirit. We're focusing on, right, really what's inside of us, bringing out right? Some of the old, so we can truly, I say free your mind and success will follow, right? So it does start with the mind, but it's a mind, body, spirit experience. Like it's everything. It's all the things. So if you had to talk to someone, and there were 3 or 4 people that were in this room earlier, people that have emailed me and said, I just, I'm a little bit embarrassed. I don't really, Tracy, I love everything you're doing. I've been watching you online. I'm like, I didn't see you online. I've been watching all the things, but I feel uncomfortable. Like I literally got 5 text messages when I was driving here, and I looked at them. I was like, wow, really? They're like uncomfortable.
What? Uncomfortable
She said she was uncomfortable actually being in a space where she has to see herself fully. And I was like, wow, we got you. Like that's a family thing. So what would you say to someone? The last text, I know you gotta go, but just this idea of like, it was a series. It was like a theme where people were saying like, I really rather have an individual one-on-one consultation with you. And yes, I do that. Absolutely. As a part of this space, I've been doing one-on-ones, but there's something so beautiful about coming together. And people are afraid to do the work. They're afraid of what they're going to see. They were afraid of those emotions that they stuffed for so long. So talk again about liberation and freedom, and invite someone who might be that one, the many, many ones that are saying, I'm not ready. Talk about like what that looks like and why and how it's so important that you free your mind and let success follow.
Well, back to the point of doing this work in community, people are working new muscles. We're an individualistic culture. You can stay isolated. You can stay there sitting, at home watching your desktop, a video replay, just you by yourself or something on your phone. And that's definitely easier because there's no dialogue, there's no reflection back, there's no being held accountable. But we're talking about busting through the comfort zone, the false comfort zone of isolation and individualism. It's a false comfort zone. We are designed to be in connection. We are designed to be in relationship. We are designed to be in community. And we have learned, it's not natural, but we have learned how to be isolated. And for truth telling and embracing our journey to be what causes fear, and staying in denial is what we call the false comfort zone. So we have to break through that. So you got to decide that you're going to lean in. You got to decide that this is an opportunity to grow and stretch. You got to decide that this is an opportunity to kick old boxes and edges and rims and borders and boundaries out of the way. And you really have to be hungry enough to move into readiness, because just thinking about it and kind of just wanting it is not enough propulsion to be in readiness. So I invite people to be in readiness. And how do you know you're ready? You show up. You show up. And you show up. Square one. Show up.
Show up.
Trust the process.
Drop the mic. Enough said. More to come with Debrena and this entire crew. Y'all join us. Again, we're still going to continue Magnificent Monday. So we're going to be here in this room at MLK, 6:00 today. But we're going to continue this work because this is a journey and we're here for you. Getting better together and the Living Powerfully experience. More to come. Thanks, Debrena.
Bye. Thanks.